We heard from Gail Benson as well
Yeah.
on Tuesday, and she had a pretty powerful statement, and she was waiting for some consultation from Demario Davis.
Yeah, so what I love about Ms. Benson's statement is that, and let's be clear, judging statements in the public eye and being like, well, I think that, this is pretty good, but they could have included this word, or I don't agree with this part. I think it's all very odd because, kind of like I said on Monday and like how I'm feeling about myself during this time, right? It's kind of a lot of empty words without action, even if it is beautifully worded, which is why I actually appreciate more of what Miss Benson wanted to do. Because there was some immediate kind of pushback as to where are the Bensons. We haven't heard anything from the Pelicans or the Saints. And the reason being is she went straight to Demario Davis, who we will get to, who is the man. I don't know that I can remember a better free agent signing both on and off the field when you look at the total body of work of Davis. But she went immediately to Davis, and look, Davis told her pretty statements like, what is it, right? I mean, now's not the time for that. Now is the time for action. And so they wanted to put together more of a plan before they went public. And I think, I don't know what eventually this plan becomes, but I do feel that it's a pretty nice start. She got together Demario Davis, Lonzo Ball, who continues to come into his own, both on and off the court, kind of find his own way now that he's out of L.A. and in New Orleans.
Cut his chains from his dad.
Yeah, and then brought on J.J. Redick as well. And they have formed now, the Saints and Pelicans, they have formed the Social Justice Leadership Coalition. And I know it's real easy to sit here and to be cynical and say, okay, well, what is this coalition actually going to do? It's just another committee, bureaucracy, blah, 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 blah. But the reason why I don't feel that that's the case and the reason why I feel that it will have an actual impact all goes back to Demario Davis. He is the man. He is a man of action, both on and off the field. And, he sells those headbands, right? Those Man of God headbands. He's now selling Man of God face masks. All the proceeds go to charitable organizations. In fact, if you buy right now, it'll go to fund families of Ahmaud Arbery and George Floyd. So he is a man of action. I mean, here's a guy, Demario Davis, who in the past year alone, Amy Just has a great write-up on NOLA.com about this. In the past year alone, he's helped bail an immigration activist out of the ICE detention center. He went to Flint, Michigan. He donated money and clean water. He went to the U.S.-Mexico border, delivering backpack, toys, and food to families there. He just penned an op-ed in USA Today in which him, Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr, Anquan Bolden, Andrew McCutcheon, they all got together. And what I love about their piece in USA Today, and I'll link it, is it's solution-oriented, right? It's not just talking about the problem and recognizing that it's a problem, because I feel like we can all kind of accept that at this point, or at least the majority can. He penned an article, hey, what are possible solutions? And it goes back to what we talked to with Tyrus earlier this week, where talking about accountability and other things along those lines. So this is a man who is about action and about letting his actions speak louder than words. And here's the deal. Some of those things I just mentioned, like ICE and everything else, a lot of that has been politicized, right? But I grew up going to a Christian school. I grew up having Bible class every day, chapel every day, from second grade all the way through high school when I was 18 years old. And as I understand the Bible and as I understand the teachings, Demario Davis is walking that path. And it's pretty incredible to see. And what's wild, Jordy, I mentioned on and off the field. Think about what he's done on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he brought the Saints defense back. Like his arrival directly coincided with the defense no longer being a joke and the Saints becoming true Super Bowl contenders once again. And if you don't believe me, look at what happened. He was first team All-Pro last year. I think that kind of snuck under the radar a little bit. Not Pro Bowl, which Pro Bowl's, it's odd, right? It's a bit of a popularity contest in an age where the two best teams can't even send their players to the Pro Bowl anymore. You get a lot of alternates. Like, Pro Bowl's nice for the resume. We still talk about it. But All-Pro is the real award. First team especially. That means that nobody in the league was better at your position than you were. And that was Demario Davis last year. And so in this last year, like I said, you have him visiting all these different areas, doing all these good actions and putting together good causes, and then also getting first team All-Pro on the field. And now that is the man who is the leader of this social justice leadership coalition. So very intrigued to see where it goes, and I'm just very thankful that I live in a city or cover a team where a man like Demario Davis is out there putting in the work and being an example, not just for kids, though. I mean, you have a kid out there, who would you rather him look up to, but also examples for people like me who need to be more action-oriented and need to take more of an active role in things. So I just shout out to Demario Davis, man. I don't think you can say enough about him.
Yeah, I agree. Davis has been one of the shining light free agent signings of the Payton Loomis era. I mean, he's outside of Breeze. I can't think of anybody who has had more of an impact, whether it be on or off the field, in a free agent signing than Davis.
I'd have to think, but yeah, definitely not off the field. I will say this, just as far as on the field, yeah, and now I'm excited to see with this Saints season, the Saints fall coming up, where you have arguably the most complete roster in the NFL. Like, if you don't have the most, it is, I think, unquestioned that you have a top 3 roster in the NFL. Can he now add to that legend even more? Right? Can he follow in the footsteps? We mentioned Jonathan Vilma when he was signed, because there's a lot of interesting parallels there, right? Getting a great middle linebacker from the Jets and then comes and becomes that final piece to kind of push you over the hump. Well, Demario Davis has flirted with that, right? They've been so close, Super Bowl, winning 13 games. Can this year be the year where he finally cements that legacy on the field with the ultimate prize, the Lombardi? It's definitely got a real chance. And if the Saints do win, a lot of it's going to be because of what Demario Davis has done.
You mentioned that roster. No team has won more games than the New Orleans Saints since the start of the 2017 season. That's over the last 3 seasons. That's one more than New England. That's one more than the reigning Super Bowl champ. 3 more than the reigning Super Bowl champ. And then after that, it's Los Angeles Rams, Baltimore Ravens.
That is kind of an interesting stat, though, right? Because that's one of those success is a double-edged sword stat, because it's great.
Are you underachieving?
Exactly, right? That's great, and it shows you what a nice time it is to be an every-year Saints fan, because the majority of the time you're going to games, they're winning. You're in a good mood. The majority of time, like, you're committing money to that. You're getting good football in return. You're going to the playoffs. You're in the mix for a championship, but there will be those who say, well, I mean, if you look at that, then what are they doing in the playoffs? Then what's gone wrong? And definitely last year did not help their case in the slightest, losing to Minnesota at home in the Dome. But yeah, that's a double-edged sword success type of stat. I still think, though, if you just ask, and it's weird for people my age. It's probably a bit different. My age and younger, like especially Danny and Sammy here, they've never really known the Saints being bad. I never really have too, like a little bit. And more probably just because I grew up knowing the history of the franchise. But like even for me, right, 06, I was 16 years old. And then now I'm 31, and the Saints have been Super Bowl relevant pretty much my entire adult life. And so you start to almost take these things for granted. But yeah, I still think that there's a lot of fans out there that say, hell yeah, dude, we'll take the most wins, even if it doesn't result in another Super Bowl. This is good, fun football to watch. And until you've been through the dark times, make sure you appreciate these good times.